after the airing. Excuse the awful joke. Now, we are going to talk about the episode of Supernatural that just aired recently, Bad Boys, in which Dean has disappeared for 2 months as a child, but he was actually at a home for boys. For bad boys. Okay, so it turns out that there's this crazy ghost mom who's doing all these crazy things to her poor little teased son named Timmy. Well, you know, I can't call him Tiny Tim, but I really want to. Anyway, got 2 things that we really need to talk about. One of those things is the quote that Dean says near the end of the episode when he's trying to convince Timmy to tell his mom to go away, vamoose, scram. She's stealing people. Obviously, that's a horrible thing. Dean tells Timmy, sometimes you've got to do what's best for you, even if it's gonna hurt the ones you love. Now, to me, that sort of sounds like everything Dean has ever done in the history of, like, ever. Like, Sam doesn't know he's possessed, so obviously that's, like, a gigantic problem. It's like, when you're letting your brother, you're pimping him out to angels at this point. Like, what are you doing, Dean? Calm down. You might as well just change your name to I'm gonna subject my brother to unconsensual angelic possession and kick Cass out of the bunker, Winchester. Please. Stop. What you're doing is gonna, like, mess up the end of the show. You are probably taking us towards the end-verse that so many of us think is going to happen. And we all know what happens when angels get inside of Sam. The apocalypse happens. That's what happens, Dean Winchester. I love you, but what you're doing is wrong. You obviously know it's wrong. You know it's gonna hurt the ones you love. He grew emotionally and socially as a kid in this episode when he was 16. Like, he even had that girl, Robin. That was fantastic. Like, that was a very nice thing to see. Dean didn't know what he was. He was like, oh, I've never been kissed before. Obviously, as an adult, you are lacking in those properties. You need to grow up, you need to tell your brother what's going on, and maybe Sam said he's even okay now, he feels good. He said that, why would you not be like, oh, well, I guess I know exactly why you'd be like, oh, by the way, because the oh, by the way is for the end of the season when crazy shit fucking happens, everything hits the fan, and everything is gonna go wrong. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about what Sam says to Dean. Thank you for always being there, for having my back. I know it hasn't been easy for you. Yes, Sam. If you knew how easy it had been for him to be like, yeah, you could take over my brother, go ahead. To Ezekiel, you would not be saying that. It was a very easy decision, and yeah, obviously Dean has some regrets, but like, do they outweigh the fact that he is comfortable with lying to his brother to keep him alive? No. When has anything good ever come of this? Now, one of the things that I really want to see from you guys is for you guys to apply those 2 quotes to the rest of the show. Season 1 upwards to the future things that are going to happen, which is potentially end-verse according to half of Tumblr. Not half of Tumblr, but like, you know, people who are really focused on that end-verse outcome of everything. One more thing I really need to ask this question. I really want to talk about Castiel, but he wasn't in this episode. We're going to play Where is Ezekiel? Where is he? He wasn't in this episode at all, and like usually when the 2 of them are in the episode, Ezekiel will come by and be like, hey Dean, here's how things are going up inside your brother's head. And, you know, it leads to drama and Sam blacking out and then coming back and being like, what happened? I don't understand. What's going on? And Dean's like, nothing. I did the hero thing. I'm your hero big brother. Sam's just like, well, okay, I'm gonna believe you, herp derp derp. Obviously, Sam has lost some common sense along with his ability to complete the trials. Ezekiel's gone in this episode. And, you know, if he's actually a good guy, the writers have completely tricked us because we all think he's evil. When has it ever been good when an angel has used one of the Winchesters as their personal parking spot? That's never a good thing. I'm holding out hope for you, Ezekiel, but, like, I'm also holding my breath because, to be completely honest with you, you're, like, not doing anything to make anybody believe you're actually a good guy. You're like, oh, Cass has to, I mean, well, actually, obviously, you have very good reasons for Castiel to leave the bunker. You're gonna get your ass targeted by an angelic hit squad, and, like, that's not what we're aiming for here. We're trying to keep everybody alive this season. Although, you know, Cass already died once this season. Sam is, like, in and out of it occasionally. If you're evil, though, it's gonna be fantastic, because it's always fun to see Dean regret his actions. Isn't it? Isn't it, like, the best thing ever? It's not. Alright, that has been this time. Next week, we're going to talk about Sam and Dean and why they're virgins.